23 of the Geek Perspective. I'm your host, Roy. And on today's show, we are reviewing The Beach Bum. Tom wanted to review The Beach Bum, so we're reviewing it. So, hey, Tom, what is going on?
What's up, Roy? How you doing today, man?
Go Patriots.
Yeah, boy, that's what I was going to say. That's why people hate us.
How's your fantasy team doing?
Good. I 1-0. I won week 1, and I just checked the score. I'm up by like 66 right now. Nice. I mean, but he's still got 3 guys going. So and it's a half point PPR this year. I wish we would have done full point PPR, but we've been standard league the whole time. So they kind of wanted to ease into the whole PPR. I was just like, fucking pull the Band-Aid off, man. Let's go full. But then we had another guy. He wanted to do full PPR plus individual defensive players. And everybody's like, no, dude, there's not enough time in a week to research defensive players too. So right. Yeah, so far so good, man. So far so good.
Nice. And we were discussing off air. You bought some new pops. Oh, not pops, but they're called something else.
Yeah, I mean, I did get a couple of new pops, and I'll show those probably on our next big show. When we're doing a discussion, I'll show the pops, but I will show the Universal Studios minis there. So essentially, what Funko is doing is they're putting these out, and it's a blind box. It's a mystery box, so you don't know what's going to be in it. And on the back, it shows you what you get, what you have a chance of, and so it's like you can get a Frankenstein. It's 1 in 6, and they have all these characters. The most rare is it's the Invisible Man, which is completely see-through. I've seen people post it, and that's a 1 in 72. So I picked these up. I picked some up last week, 2 boxes. They were like $9 a piece. So I only grabbed 2 because I was just like, they're minis. I don't know. So, and I got actually this Frankenstein, which is pretty cool. It's a 1 in 36. So it's one of the more rare ones. And I got you this one, which I showed you the detail on it, the creature from the Black Lagoon.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, this is badass. And, if you guys watch our show, me and Roy are super into horror and stuff like that. So that's why these are cool. Then today I was out doing my normal Sunday stuff. And I was like, I went back by that Walgreens and I was like, there was 2 boxes left. I was like, I'll grab them, even though, $9 kind of expensive. Well, no, they came up to $4 each. So I got them for $8. And I got this guy, which I did because I'm a huge Invisible Man guy. It's not the see-through one, not the 1 in 72. This is just like a 1 in 12 or 1 in 24. And one of my all-time favorite characters, the Bride of Frankenstein.
Oh, that's pretty badass.
Yeah. So I dig them, you know what I mean? They're pretty cool. They're, not typical Funkos, but, the detail on them is really cool. And the whole idea of, if I can find some more, actually, you know what I'll do? If I can find some more on our next big show, we'll do an unboxing live. Cool. Open one, if I can get a couple, we'll open them up on, I know how big unboxing videos are online and everything, and be kind of fun for our viewers to see it. So I'll definitely keep my eye out trying to find some more for the big show.
That's awesome.
What about you? Any? I know you haven't really been buying Funkos lately, but anything recently, or?
No, I haven't purchased anything. I got a puppy, so that's been all my money, time, and effort. So that's been a big expenditure over the last month, and it's been a while since I bought something. Well,
I know you got a car, and then like you said, the puppy, which by the way, he's got a badass puppy, guys. His name's Anakin, and he's such a cool little. I mean, he's gonna be big soon. He will be a big boy, but really cool puppy.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome. Yeah, and I got a new car, so it's like all my money's going to that right now. And it's like, my buddy and his kids went to the comic book store today. And I wanted to go, but I was doing some final touches on today's show, so I didn't have a chance to get over there. But, maybe sometime soon.
Yeah, next time I'm up there, we should definitely go.
Definitely.
You know, I like that shop. So
definitely. And you mentioned off air, you might be going to the flea market next week. There's a possibility we might be going, me and my buddy also. So maybe we'll meet you up there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, hell yeah, man. That's awesome. Yeah, because like I said, the guy didn't. I was kind of bummed. I went out there, and I told you what happened. I don't want to go on ear of what exact personal stuff, but yeah, I ended up. I was only there for maybe 10 minutes.
Wow.
I ended up taking off, and then I just went running around doing stuff for the day. So yeah, that'd be awesome if you guys going up. Hell yeah.
Yeah, we'll let you know on that.
Yeah.
But just so everybody listening, if you like our show today, hit the like button, ring that little bell to stay up to date on everything that we are doing. I think I said everything twice. Everything we are doing. And you can keep up to date on all our great content. Share the video. Show all your friends how amazing we are. And if you have questions or suggestions for new content, let us know, because we're always willing to review different things and discuss different things. But let us know what you guys want to discuss on the links below. Just let us know. Talk to us. Give us your feedback.
Yes, please. Please.
Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, Tom and his Beach Bum movie. Hit it, Tom.
All right. So this week we're reviewing The Beach Bum. Came out in 2019, written and directed by Harmony Korine. And so Harmony Korine is one of my favorite directors. He actually wrote Kids. So so there you can see the picture of The Beach Bum. It starred Matthew McConaughey, Isla Fisher, Snoop Dogg, Jimmy Buffett, Zac Efron, Martin Lawrence, and Jonah Hill. So pretty cool cast. It's a pretty cool cast. Again, this came out in 2019. So, and like I said, written and directed by Harmony Korine. So a little bit about Harmony Korine. He wrote Kids when he was a teen by Larry Clark. Our younger viewers probably have never heard of that, but I know Roy and us. It was a very controversial movie when I was growing up, dealing with kids and sex and HIV and skateboarding, and it was this very raw sort of movie that came out that caused a lot of controversy. But yeah, Harmony Korine wrote that. And he was in it. He had a small part in it, and which kind of propelled his career. And he's sort of an avant-garde-ish director. He goes for usually crazy out there themes. And you'll see in a lot of his movies, he's friends with like Werner Herzog and Lars von Trier. So he goes for this like disorienting style in his movies where it's it's a lot of quick camera cuts and shaky camera and all this stuff to give a more visceral and real feeling, and it gives a lower budget feeling, which I'm fine with. But the whole idea is to sort of disorient and make the viewer uncomfortable, which I really dig. Mm-hmm. He was actually part of his one of his previous movies, Julian and Donkey Boy, was the first American film that was a Dogma 95 film. You know anything about Dogma 95, Roy?
Dogma 95, no. I know the movie Dogma.
Yeah, great movie. Kevin Smith. That was a great movie. Now, Dogma 95 is like it was a movement in the film industry. So it was like the late 90s, early 2000s, and it was an attempt, because that's when like we kept seeing a bunch of big budget films. It was after Jurassic Park, so CGI was becoming a thing, big budget, and it was a thing by like Lars von Trier was the Danish director that started it to bring art back into films, and it was all about artistic, and it's very extreme. Like you couldn't do certain things, like any prop in a movie has to be found in that location. Just like if you're filming at a location, it has to be a real location. It can't be a set that you build. So if there's a scene in an apartment, you have to be in an apartment, and you cannot alter the lights in any which way. That means you can't even put a blind over the window if there wasn't a blind there, because it's all natural. Actors are supposed to be real people. All these music's going to be non-diegetic, so it has to, essentially just tell what's happening in the story. It can't be mood music, So very few. I don't think there's any film that's 100% Dogma 95. Even Lars Van Trier's film, he had to pull a blind down on a window.
Nope. You just watched God. Not just minutes. Anyway, yeah, we watched this movie. And we can do it when we get back here, but I have some personal views on the movie. Um, it's one of those, how would I describe this movie? Um, okay, hot-looking, fun-loving guy.
It happened again.
But Tom is back now, so I was giving my synopsis of like what I thought of the movie. But go.
Cool. Yeah, good. Yeah, sorry about that. That's the second time that's happened. Just everything just closed out all at the same time. It wasn't a noise, anything. It just like. Boom.
I had asked you a question. You totally didn't hear me, so I was like, "Something's wrong." So I figured something was going to happen.
What was the question?
When you mentioned that the actors had to be real people.
Yes.
And I was like, how is that possible if they're not actors?
Well, yeah, I realized the wording because I was talking fast, but you know what I mean? They're not trained actors. They're not really like trained actors. You know what I mean? It's just people that have lived those experiences. And I don't know of any of the movies was able to do that 100%. Like I said, no film is 100% Dogma 95. Even the guy that created it, he had to pull it down. But it's real extreme sort of filmmaking, and like too extreme for me. Like I'm into all that sort of underground indie type stuff, and like the whole concept of bringing art back to film and stuff. Cool idea. Little extreme for me, you know what I mean? Like props, they have to be in the place. You cannot create props. You cannot create a set. I mean, it's kind of crazy. It's hard to do. You know what I mean?
And do it well.
Yeah, there's only 35 films that are actually considered Dogma 95. It's not really even a movement anymore. Although people still try to identify their films as Dogma 95, people have in recent years tried to, but it's not really a movement anymore. But I just thought it was interesting because it was like this big thing for a while, and it was kind of like there was kind of like this sort of background war going on between filmmakers. You had like your Steven Spielbergs and your James Camerons versus your Harmony Korines and Lars Van Trier. I'm the real artist, and then those guys arguing, just because we have a big budget doesn't mean that we cannot create art. So I can kind of see where they're both coming from. So I just thought that was kind of interesting to talk about because Harmony Korine, he is such a sort of experimental filmmaker. So now we'll get into the review, and just a few films that he's done are Julian and Donkey Boy. He did Trash Humpers. He wrote Kids. He did Mr. Lonely. He did Spring Breakers was his most recent before this one, 2012. That was sort of before this one. It was his biggest budget film, most mainstream film. And then this one came out, and it's his biggest. So the Beach Bum. It was released March 9, 2019. And then at the South by Southwest Festival, and then its theatrical run started March 29th, 2019, and it was projected to gross between 2 and 4 million in its opening weekend. On its first day, it made 650,000, including 200,000 from Thursday night previews. It ended up debuting just to 1.8 million. which is the lowest widescreen opening of any of Matthew McConaughey's films ever. So Matthew McConaughey was the star of it, and it has a 55% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. So yeah. So the film stars Matthew. I said it before. Matthew McConaughey as the titular character, Moondog. He's married to Minnie, who's played by Isla Fisher, and Jimmy Buffett's in it. Zac Efron again is in it, and Snoop Dogg plays his wife's sort of. His wife is having an affair with Snoop Dogg. His character is called Lingerie. So the film is about, it kind of opens up and we just see this guy and he's just messed up, drunk, and he's going to bars and partying, but everybody loves him. He's on stage. Jimmy Buffett's having playing music, and he's on stage. He just walks on stage and does some poetry, and we don't really know who he is yet. And it's sort of crass, and he's just drunk, and but everybody loves him. And then as we find out, he keeps going through. He's going to bars. Everybody knows him. We find out he's Moondog. He's a famous writer. A famous writer and a famous poet, and he's married to a very, very, very wealthy woman. And he just lives this sort of, how would you describe it? Right, like a bohemian style lifestyle that he lives.
Bohemian, yeah, definitely bohemian.
He makes a comment. He's talking to her on the phone. One of my favorite lines from the movie. She's like, Moondog, you got to come home, because their daughter's getting married, and he doesn't really want to. And they're talking about it. And she's like, I miss you. And he goes, I know, but I got to go low to get high. Yeah. And he's talking about like hanging out, doing sort of these things that we associate with low lifes, or just like sort of seedy stuff. To make himself feel alive. So, something I can personally relate to with some of the stuff in my past. So I just love that line. Hey, babe, I got to go low to get high. So anyway, yeah. So
also, I think.
What's that?
I think that was my favorite line also.
Nice.
I was like, because I was watching the movie, it's kind of like do, and then he says that, and my ears perked up. I'm like, what? I played it again. I was like, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's great. And Matthew McConaughey is fantastic in this film, man. He
was awesome.
He is fantastic.
He's a great actor in general, I think.
Oh, he is. Went from the movie where he played the guy with AIDS, Dallas Buyers Club. That was a great film. He was great in that. To that show he did with True Detective. Oh man, I could go on for days and days on Matthew McConaughey. He's great, and he's just fantastic. Everybody, I think, is really good in this.
Yeah, cast.
And which is cool too, because it's very surreal in certain parts, and it has its signature harmony korrents, even though it's his most mainstream and it's his most linear film as far as just following the story. It doesn't, not clips, and it's not disorienting too much. It's still got some of the hallmarks of the surrealism, like the part with the bums when they're walking through the town and they're kind of like singing the song and stuff. That very sort of campy and.
Mm-hmm. They're marching to the mansion.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And it's like over the top. They're marching in unison, and they're wearing costumes at that point and stuff. So it's sort of his feel. So yeah, so back to the review. So Matthew McConaughey, so he's living down in the Keys or down in South Florida on boats, and we find out he's here and there he's working on his next novel because he hasn't written in a long time. And then it comes out that they're finding out that some people think he's kind of washed up. So he's working on it. Then the wife calls. I mentioned it. And he's got to get back because his daughter's getting married. So he goes back and, he just, he deals with he goes to the wedding, kind of makes a scene. And I don't want to give too much away because it's a brand new film. And then we find, the wedding happens. And then we find out something bad happens. And essentially, his funds become frozen, and they won't become unfrozen until he finishes his next book, because everybody knows that he's a genius and everything, but it's been a long time since he's put out a book, and that's the stipulate. He needs to do that, and in the meantime, he gets arrested, and all this just sort of, it just calamitous stuff ensues, and hilarity, and so he's got to work on his novel in order to free his unlock his funds. So he starts to do it, but we don't really know what's happening.
I think that's when the movie picked up for me.
Yeah,
the first half of the movie, it wasn't bad, but it was kind of like And then when the thing happened and he had to write the book to get his money, to me things started moving a bit.
And I think that's too, because then it all started to make sense too. You know what I mean? For me, exactly. Yeah. Now you could see, okay, wow, he is a genius. Oh, that's what he's been doing. You know what I mean? Like it all kind of comes into focus there.
The movie, it seemed like things were just happening to happen.
Yes.
You were like, all right, this is just a movie that things are happening. It's not like nothing's going on kind of thing. And then, like you just said, when things started making sense, it was like, oh, okay. It takes a while to get there, but once it does, it's like, oh, all right.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, this movie's not for everybody, and you know what I mean. It's probably better that Derek isn't here, honestly, because I know he wouldn't have liked that movie. Yeah, he just would not his style. It is mine because I'm a big Harmony Korine fan, and in just independent films in general like that. So yeah, yeah, Derek. I don't think Derek would have enjoyed it too much. He would not have given it a good review, but I think everybody should watch it just because it is a fairly good film. So yeah, so he's got to so that's it. So he's got to finish his book, to unlock his funds and to live his lifestyle that he's so accustomed to, because we find out, I forgot what I was going to say. So anyway, I don't want to give away too much as far as it, because the rest of the movie is just that. Couple cool scenes: Snoop Dogg and the pot plant that he grows, and Snoop Dogg plays this guy Lingerie. He's an R&B artist, right? Lingerie, rap R&B.
Yeah,
and he plays this. Snoop Dogg is great, and I'm not like, I love Snoop Dogg, like, because growing up, being a fan or whatever, but I've never been too impressed by his acting or anything, but he was perfect in this. I thought I'm the
opposite way. Like, I don't expect him to be a good actor. So like, he impresses me. I mean, he's not a great actor. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he is.
No,
I expect so little from him that it's like, okay, you're pretty good.
Yeah, I thought he was great. And Jimmy Buffett is clearly not an actor. He is clearly not an actor, but it's fun to see Jimmy Buffett because it plays down in Key West. If everybody knows, that's Jimmy Buffett area. He's got his Margaritaville restaurant, everything. He sings about that place. So it's so that's essentially it. You'll find out whether or not he is able to recapture his success. Another part of it, or another person I want to talk to, and I'm curious on your thoughts because it grew on me, but Jonah Hill's character.
I love Jonah Hill's character.
Okay, you did right from the get-go?
It took a few minutes to grow on me, but after a few minutes, I did.
So Jonah Hill, he plays his agent in it, and this is what I like, because you can see this is Harmony Korine when he's writing. He writes it like an old school, stereotypical, like, agent that you would see down in the South back in the 60s and 70s. That agent with the big, like a 10-gallon hat, chomping on the cigar, not even smoking the cigar, just chomping on the cigar. And so the character is written like that, and Jonah Hill plays it, and he's chomping on, it looks like straws to me. I'm not even sure what he's really chomping on there, but he plays it. It's very over the top, and it's, he swears a lot in it. And at first, I'm going to say I was not a I was just like, it's a little too over the top. I don't know if Jonah Hill can pull it off. Not to mention Jonah Hill's lost a lot of weight, and that character, stereotypically, when you think of that character, you think of a heavier set gentleman in the South. You know, like what comes to mind is the chief of police from Dukes of Hazzard.
I thought the same thing. I'm like, if he was the old Jonah Hill that was heavier, it would have been even better.
Yes. Yeah. You know, and I don't mean that. I don't mean to sound rude. I'm not picking on his weight or any. It just that's what the mental picture you get. The character and what he was doing. You get the picture of a heavier set gentleman doing it. That said, Jonah Hill did a great job, and he totally, like, after the initial sort of shock to it, he like totally made it his own, and I thought he was great. And at the end, and he has some of the funniest lines in that whole film. It's really good. So yeah, so as you guys can see, the actual synopsis is a little all over the place because that's kind of how Harmony Korine is with his films. Like I said, this is his most linear, but it's still out there and very surreal. And I don't want to give away too much. So essentially, it's about the writer likes to go low to get high, and whether or not he can refind that glory that made him the Moondog, the character that he is, Moondog, in it. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, I didn't know what these guys would think either way. So I'm really, and I haven't really asked them yet. So I'm really curious to see. But before we get to that, is there any other part of the movie you want to talk about, Roy? Like any part that I missed, or anything that you think that we should mention?
My favorite scene in the whole movie. Well, I had a couple of good scenes that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
I'll get to my feelings about the whole movie itself in a minute, but
yeah,
Captain Whack, when he recruits him, and I won't give it away, but there was an incident with a shark. Seals. I thought that was the funniest thing, and when they were all like, they realized what was going on, they're like, "Oh, that's not good." You know, that perked me up too. I was like, "Ooh."
That was great. Martin Lawrence was hilarious as Captain Whack, by the way.
And what a name, Captain Whack.
I totally forgot about that. Captain Whack. And he Martin Lawrence, like, I go both ways with Martin Lawrence. When I was younger, I really liked him, and then kind of fell out.
Yeah.
And but he is hysterical in this. He is fantastic.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Trying to think. Yeah, that was, now that you say it, that was when they realized what's going on. And and then even though Moondog Matthew McConaughey is like nervous for him, he still lets out that laugh, and I just think that's hysterical. That his laugh was hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, anything else before we get into our thoughts on it that we should talk about? Anything I missed?
Yeah, I think we hit everything. Me personally,
yeah,
my favorite characters were Snoop Dogg.
Yep.
I love Fisher, Jonah Hill, and Martin Lawrence. Those characters were some of the best characters.
Yeah.
Like they were freaking awesome.
Yeah, they were great.
I really enjoyed them.
Yeah, I would say my favorite was Matthew McConaughey, just because I thought he was great. His character was sort of like a mix between the dude from The Big Lebowski. God,
Okay,
the mix between the dude from The Big Lebowski and Johnny Depp playing Hunter S. Thompson in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. That's what I felt as though. It was like sort of a mix between those two.
Yep.
And so he was my favorite. But again, all those people were great. I thought everybody was pretty great in the film. Zac Efron, great. Like, honestly,
Zac Efron, he was good too with his little shave thing he had going on there.
Yeah, and honestly, like, it was funny. Like, when I saw him, I was like, oh, wow, Zac Efron. Totally forgot by like 30 seconds into the scene, forgot it was Zac Efron, and totally forgot until I was getting ready for the episode today that was Zac Efron. He's so good in it, and he's so different, and yeah.
Like
so
Matthew McConaughey brought up like the ability of the actors to his level. Like,
yeah,
everybody was so good in this film.
Yeah,
it's such a well acted movie.
Yeah, I 100% agree, which is you know, it's kind of tough too when you get such a like sort of bizarre sort of film and a filmmaker that likes to you know, do those sort of things like, you know, add surrealism and disorient you and sort of, you know, make you uncomfortable, but they just did so well. So yeah, I mean, Matthew McConaughey is my favorite of them all, but I thought they were all very strong on it. So opinion on the movie overall.
Not my favorite movie, especially the first half, because it was just so like just there.
Yep.
It was kind of like when you have pancakes and there's no syrup on them. They're okay, but they're a lot better with syrup.
I like that. I like that.
Right? My analogy.
Yeah.
But when that scene finally happened, where everything kind of like, haha, and things started rolling, and you realize why he's doing what he's doing, and it made more sense.
Yeah.
Like I said, not my favorite movie, but I've seen a whole lot worse.
Out of 10, what would you give it?
I'd probably say a 6.5.
6.5. Hey, that's good. That's honestly higher than I thought. I you know, like afterwards when I you know, because I sent it, I was like, oh, they should watch this. Then I was thinking about it at work, and I was just like, oh man, they might fucking hate this movie.
That's fun though, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
My goal is to find a movie that you and Derek would hate, so we could actually debate it. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's fun too. You know what I mean? Personally, like in hate in a good way. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not just like hate it because I'm disinterested, or because it's like I don't want to say it, like sometimes with the anime movie reviews, I'm disinterested, and I don't hate them. Yeah. I don't necessarily like them, but I don't hate them.
Yeah, it's just not your thing.
It's just, you know what I mean? But yeah, that would be, if we can find a movie where we all disagree on it, that would be awesome. Right. Make for a good episode. So yeah, so 6.5. That's actually higher than I expected you to do it. So for me, I really enjoyed it. I totally see where you're coming from on that first half, because it kind of was just there, and until that moment, again, we're trying to keep this as vague and as possible. Until that moment, then everything sort of crystallizes, and then it makes sense, and then the movie, and it really picks up at that point, and everything starts happening, and everything makes sense. For me personally, I am gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10. You
like the movie?
What's that?
Let me guess, you like the movie?
Yes. Yes, I give it a solid 8. Solid 8 out of 10. I thought it was fantastic. I would have gone higher, but like Roy said, the first, you know, good half, maybe even 65, the first 65% of the movie, it was kind of slow, and you were just kind of wondering where it goes. But then once it picks up, it's fun. And yeah, so 8. Big fan of Harmony Korine. Actually, I would like us to, because we've talked about doing as we do these reviews, to like pick certain directors, and we've tossed around directors' names like Wes Anderson, Jim Jarmusch. I would you know, at some point in the future, if we could do a couple of movies, because he doesn't even have a lot of movies, but if we could do a couple of movies for him, I think that would be fun. And also to sort of see how different and how similar it are to some of his other ones that, like, maybe not the big, maybe not like a Spring Breakers, but like Trash Humpers and Gummo and all these sort of lower budget ones, and even see see the sort of his style in play, like how he does it in a smaller budget that's way off the rails, as opposed to a big. He's got to kind of make money in this movie.
Right.
Yeah, I think that would be fun if we could do some in the future, and hopefully we will.
Yes, definitely.
So yeah, so I mean that's not it. Sorry guys, I know the review was a little erratic and at points, but I didn't want to give away too much with it being a new movie, and that's sort of how this director is. It is erratic. So yeah, so I say check it out.
All right. So I agree. It's a good movie. It starts off a little slow, but when it picks up and things make sense, you really might enjoy it. It's Matthew McConaughey. He's a great actor. His co-actors and actresses were pretty amazing. Well acted, well done. So check it out. Beach Bum. And if you like this, guys, subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching. And don't forget, also subscribe to our Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Geek Perspective. And actual Twitter is Geek Perspective without the E and put a number 2 there. And join the discussion. And for Tom and myself, have a geeky great Sunday.
Bye, guys. Go Patriots.
Go Pats.